Hello everyone, I'm Gabriel and this is the Rise Atlantis show. Hallelujah. Today, the topic of the day will be about these volcanoes in Hawaii. Now, most people have heard they've been going on for so long, but what's new that's happening is they're starting to reach the nuclear reactors, and it's taking out the power supply in Hawaii. Now it's weird. Why are we seeing all these eruptions from volcanoes? Not just in Hawaii, all around the world. In a previous video, I said it can be my theory that the closer Jesus returns, is more supernatural activities going to pick up, and it could be demons are trying to rise up from the center of the earth. That's where hell could be. And they're trying to rise up to the center of the earth through portals from the center of the earth onto earth. These portals could be the volcanoes and earthquakes itself also. Maybe even through the depths of the ocean. After all, it says in Revelation that the beast will come out of the ocean. So it's all lining up, making perfect sense. Now we see it like, well, how can a beast really rise up from the ocean? Well, it's a parable, you know. It could be these hybrid creatures that mad scientists are trying to create. So it could be so many things, you know. The beast out of the ocean could even relate to USOs, which is unidentified submersible objects. We're starting to see UFOs going into and coming out of the ocean. So things are getting very weird. And my theory is UFOs, USOs could be apparitions, not physical objects, but they look like physical objects, you know. So that will be the topic of the day, about how weird is it that how these volcanoes are erupting all around the world, and how Hawaii is really getting hit really bad by volcanoes. Now they've had volcanoes, yes, their whole lives, but never before have it been happening at alarming rates like this. You know, and especially recently took out a nuclear reactor, so they're all losing power. Their food's going bad, so their power's out. Their food's going bad. Either running out of water, also, you know, all kinds of things and necessities. You know, they don't even have gasoline because, you know, things are getting really bad. And it's not like they could just move to California. I mean, it is close by, but it's still quite a distance. You know, you just can't go jump in the ocean and go swimming. It's not that easy. It takes a long time to reach California. So, it is really, they are really in bad shape. We need to pray for the people of Hawaii. So that is the topic of the day. And how weird is it? All this happened a couple months after the Hawaii missile hoax. Is there a connection here? Now, I hate to say, is God doing this? Is God doing this? You know, because then you get, how should I call it, atheists and people like that who said, well, how can God allow all that? So, you know, is it something in the weather? Is it a HARP? Is it all this weather modification? I really don't know what it is. It is really strange, though. And there's something strange is really going on. Because isn't it weird how a couple months after the Hawaii missile hoax that we seeing all these volcanoes erupting in Hawaii? The timing is just too precise to be coincidental. There's something strange going on. And I hate to say it's God doing it, Because then you even have a lot of Christians that say, oh, we shouldn't say that God causing disasters. And I agree. You know, we should not be calling them act of God. That term was created by atheists and scientists as a way to mock God with it. So we as Christians should not use that term act of God. We should say natural occurrences that are being progressed through something. I mean, it's not pollution. What could it be? Very strange. Could it be Kim Jong-un's in so many years of exploding nuclear bombs underground to test them? And now it seems North Korea's supposedly trying to make peace and dismantling their nuke program. You know, I think it's all smoke and mirrors. They have other nuclear reactors hidden. You know, I mean, why would they spend so many years and all of a sudden just change their mind? No, something's weird here. Something don't add up, you know. And it's weird because we just can't give Kim Jong-un a slap on the hand for all the atrocities he's done. And he's been like Dr. Evil and Austin Powers. Because Dr. Evil and Austin Powers really sends nuclear bombs to the center of the earth to explode nuclear bombs, to get all the volcanoes and magma, as he calls it, to start gushing out the earth. So it's weird how we're seeing prophecy being fulfilled through a comedy movie like Austin Powers. You know, Kim Jong-un is Dr. Evil. He has really been exploding nuclear bombs underground to test them, you know. And through all these tests, now we're seeing the result of more earthquakes even, you know. So that guy has really messed up the world's ecosystem, you know, and he needs to be punished somehow. I know we can't go to war. I mean, it's very hard to go to war over something like that, you know. I hate this light. Still keep forgetting to put a... See, I'm going to need a light here and a light here, and I don't have the money to get that yet, so, you know. I'm just using a regular lamp for now, you know. The ceiling light is messed up, you know, so... Why does everything have to cost money, right? I hate it how everything's so expensive. It's not right. So, yeah. Kim Jong-un is Dr. Evil, man. He's done the same things that's been the plot of the movie Austin Powers, you know. Now the only thing we need is the mini-me. Who's the mini-me, right? When they start bringing out clones, human clones, you know, it's coming soon. Is North Korea involved in creating clones? I mean, it's happening all around the world underground, man. And when it comes, the world's going to change like that, man. So now we'll go ahead and get into the news. Traces of a mysterious goat... I was going to say goat. Traces of a mystery ghost ape species that lived around 400,000 years ago. That's almost 500,000 years ago. Is found hidden in the genome of bonobos. Now, what is bonobos? Is that a type of tree, or is that a type of place in Africa? There are no remains of the ape, but proof it existed are in the bonobo genome. Mystery DNA accounted for 1% of their overall genetic information in bonobos. New apes split from the common ancestor of chimps and bonobos 4 million years ago. So bonobos is, I thought it was a type of tree, or I thought it was a place in Africa. Turns out bonobos is a type of ape. The ghost species, they're calling it. The missing link in the chain. Now, not the evolutionary chain. I don't know. I don't agree to evolution, man, you know. So it's very strange. A new ape split from the common ancestor of chimps and bonobos 4 million years ago. Okay, so they found it in the forests of Central Africa. There are no remains of the ghost ape, but proof it exists has been found in the genome of modern day bonobos. Now it shows a picture here, but I think these are regular apes. These are not the ones it's talking about. Now it doesn't show a picture of them. It doesn't show a picture of what they could have looked like. So I don't know. Now it's showing all these different ones, but I think these are regular apes that exist today. I mean, they show other pictures here, but I don't see anything different from this one than the ones that exist. You know, this one, they look like the ones that exist today, so I don't know. They haven't shown a SketchUp of what they would have looked like. So they produced a far superior intelligence. So that's crazy. Next story. Isn't it weird how humans back then, the Neanderthals, they had, what was it? Was it smaller brains but bigger eyes? I think it was. And now we have bigger brains but smaller eyes. How weird is that? You know, so. And that really makes you wonder, man, because it's weird because extraterrestrials we see in the grays and the greens, they have such big heads and such big eyes and long necks. Green-gray skin. Okay. Now, if you think about this, the Neanderthals had smaller brains but bigger eyes. Us humans have bigger brains but smaller eyes. Now, how do extraterrestrials get both qualities of bigger brains and bigger eyes? And how do they have longer necks, stretched out necks? You know? And how do they get green and gray skin? My theory is it could be either through regular human cloning. Maybe a prolonged process of it creates a deformity of the enlarged brains, because they said when you clone a human, you take cells from the brain and you use that microscopic cell and throw it into the embryo of an egg that creates a baby. So you create cloning through that, and you keep tinkering with the DNA using the brain cell, and that's what creates the bigger brains. Now, I guess what they do is they take DNA from the brain cell and an eye cell, and they get all these DNA cells, merge them in together to throw it into the embryo. So they probably get cells from the eyes also, and they get all these they get all these samples of DNA, and they all link it all together in one microscopic cell. It's crazy stuff, you know. It seems like it's all just science fiction, you know, like it's not real. But, you know, anything is possible with science. And, you know, I mean, people say, you know, oh, well, if it's possible, why haven't they done it all this time? I don't know. Maybe the science is almost there. Maybe it's not there yet, but it's very close. So it is strange. How are extraterrestrials able to get bigger heads and bigger eyes? Probably through getting samples of DNA. It's weird, you know. Now, what explains the long neck? Well, I've heard tribes in the past used to enlarge their necks on purpose. Using these things, they wear them over the years, day after day, every single second. And it's like, there's some where you can customize it to stretch up and all that. And they will do that, stretching their necks up. A lot of people in the tribes, the earlobes, they bring them all the way down. Now you're seeing that trend coming back. A lot of people have these long earlobes and even giant hoops in the earlobes. Now Jesus in the Bible has said, what is it Jesus said? We should not deface our bodies. We should not get tattoos and altering our body like that with giant earlobes. But we're living in such a different time, and we shouldn't stereotype people. You know, a lot of people, they look at people like that and they think, oh, they're not Christian. But a lot of bikers are Christian. A lot of people with tattoos are Christian. Even a lot of old school gangsters that change their ways. The most hardcore gangsters have become Christians. So we should not stereotype people. God doesn't want us to stereotype people. God wants us all to coexist and be peaceful with everyone, So, and that goes with everything, with eye piercing and lip piercing, and people are splitting their tongues in half like lizards now. It's getting crazy, crazy stuff. I've heard people tattooing their eyes now. I mean, what next, But, as long as they're Christian, they are on a good path, towards heaven. Even though their lifestyle may not be the best, we should not discriminate people, basically, So, weird stuff, really weird. Now, what makes aliens get green and gray skin? Well, again, you get DNA from amphibian. You can even have blue skin aliens. Red skin alien, any color you can think of, man. You can have the skin of aliens, extraterrestrials, And it's just all sampling from different DNA, It's all just sampling from the DNA pool. And that genie has been out the box for so long, I'm telling you. That's why we're seeing so much weird creatures coming out, little by little, like in the oceans, beaches. For all we know, yes, they could be hybrid creatures created by these Dr. Evils of the world. These Kim Jong-uns of the world, so. What other traits do extraterrestrials have? Besides big heads, big eyes, they have small noses. What makes their nose get small? That's a very interesting thing to ponder, because a lot of Neanderthals have very large noses. So that means our regular reproduction 1,000 years from now will have maybe bigger heads, maybe bigger eyes, I don't know, but we'll have smaller noses. And I don't know about the necks. I mean, I really don't know about the necks, because Neanderthals didn't really have large necks. It's weird. That was just like a tribal trend, that people stretch their necks on purpose, So, stretching the necks also reminds me of the corsets where the women wear, where they get their waist like a toothpick, And that's really not good, because it messes up their body, It messes up their stomach, digestion, And before you know it, they're suffering all these health complications and die from it, So corsets are not good. I do not recommend those things that they stretch your waist all the way in like a toothpick. It actually kills people, So it's absurd. the trends that people do. You know, the trends that people do is very absurd. So what other traits do extraterrestrials have? Well, the Roswell video, I believe it showed it with 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each feet. Now, how weird is that? 6. And always in the cartoons, we always see them with 4 fingers. You know, and some cartoons have it with 3 fingers. You know, and it's funny, you know, because, like, the Roswell alien, I don't believe it was real. Because if it was real, they would not travel light years from the universe just to accidentally get crashed. Now, people say, I've heard this theory that the other spaceships got lost and only that one found it to Earth. Okay, let's just say 1 in a million chance that that theory is true. Well, it still doesn't answer the question on why didn't they have them following close to each other? You know? So if one lucky spaceship landed towards Earth, why did it get shot down? If they were so superior, they would have been prevented to be shot down. And I'm saying they're shot down by the government. Okay, so let's just say, hypothetically, if it was true, 1 in a million shot that only one flying saucer found Earth and the others didn't find it, that they went off track. Well, the way I see it is, if that planet would have sent millions, who knows, maybe even billions of spacecraft, you know, or maybe it was just a rogue mission where only very few. I'm willing to believe every option here. But it's so weird, you know, because with their technology, you would have think they would have landed not in America, they would have landed in I don't know, another place of the world with less military, where they would have been accepted more. So I don't know, it is strange, because if that story is real, the Roswell body, the Roswell alien extraterrestrial body, then it's really a 1 in a million chance that all the other flying saucers that were coming towards Earth got lost. So if that is true, then I'm willing to give this idea credibility. One of the things that does make me think the Roswell incident was real is the extraterrestrial was pregnant with a big stomach. It was not overweight. Because the face wasn't that bloated. It was a little bit, but that's because it died, rigor mortis. Your face starts to bloat up. But this one right here, the stomach was way, way bigger than the face was supposed to be if it was overweight. Which means clearly proof that this was a female extraterrestrial that was pregnant. Wow. That makes a big difference, because if it was pregnant, it was probably pregnant with a clone of itself. Which means it would have, if that alien from Roswell would have lived, it would have brought into the world the first human clone. Now they're saying, people say, oh, maybe it was, you know, Hitler. Maybe he sent a rogue mission of them to land in America to try to, what's the word called? Subliminally brainwash everyone, to get everyone to give in to human cloning, to worship the extraterrestrial. It is a possibility that Hitler could have sent that in. Hitler had a team of scientists that were feverishly trying to clone him before America intervened. So imagine how different the world would have been if Hitler would have survived, would have overtook America, defeated America, and if we would have been under Hitler's rule, and if Hitler would have legalized human cloning for Rael's false sense of eternal life. Human cloning through eternal life is a grand deception. If Hitler would have accomplished that 50 years ago, this world would have been so much different today. we'd be seeing hybrid monsters walking around everywhere, you know. And so it's really proof Hitler was working towards that. I remember on a speech he gave one time I saw, it was a black and white. He said, quote, this is what Hitler said: "Heaven is my hell and hell is my heaven." Oh really? How can you say hell is your heaven when you're burning in the fires of hell every second for all eternity? When you cannot withstand not even 1 second of those hot flames. And he has the nerve to say that hell is his heaven and heaven is his hell. He said that because he was atheist. Now, supposedly he said he was atheist, but I really believe he was demonically possessed. He was one of the antichrists. Napoleon wasn't, what was called the antichrist, but he wasn't nearly as bad as Hitler was, you know. And so there's always been talk of the third antichrist going to come. Who was it? Nostradamus said of this Mabbis, who could have been Saddam in reverse. And was that a reason George Bush Jr. went and assassinated Saddam Hussein? Now, he didn't assassinate him. They held him on trial and everything. You know, seems it was fair, but also at the same time, we shouldn't be regiming changing everyone, you know. We should let revolution take place and let the people rise up and overtake their governments only if they are evil, you know. Only if they are killing their protesters, like we've seen a lot of dictators do. You know, I really believe we should not be taking any country leaders out. We should not be killing them. We should be maybe holding them for trial, but at least life sentence or something. Something's got to be done to make war more justified instead of just bombing, shooting people left and right. You know, so it is weird, you know, the Roswell alien. You know, now we'll go ahead and wrap up the news stories here. And I'll talk about the Roswell alien a little bit more in detail in another video. Signs of sophisticated cell phone spying has been found near the White House. U.S. officials say. They call it Stingray cell phone surveillance devices. And what they do is, like, yeah, it works like the satellites and all, but now they want to pick up your GPS and find where you are, where you're going, and they want to monitor every single call, monitor every single text, everything, you know, and it all gets sent to these algorithm bots that look for keywords like bomb and terrorists and stuff like that, you know. But then it gets into the point of violating privacy, where they go after small-time drug dealers. If they're selling drugs at a small amount, they should not be thrown in prison. It's simple fine, you know. It's only the cartels they need to go after. They're the real enemies, not the small-time drug dealers, you know. So I feel that all this spying could lead to all this harassment and persecution of small-time drug dealers. Now, a lot of times these small-time drug dealers have addictions themselves. So, one, they need help to get clean, and two, they, you know, it shouldn't be, they shouldn't be thrown in prison for small amounts, you know. Like, marijuana should become legalized across the board to help end the drug war, you know. I'm all in favor of that. It's, you know, marijuana is better than alcohol. People get violent when they drink alcohol, so, you know. I'm not in favor of legalizing the hard drugs like crack cocaine, ecstasy, hallucinogenics, heroin. No, I am not in favor of legalizing those because those are very hard drugs. Not only are they very dangerous and deadly, but they are also very addictive, you know. And I believe those should always be illegal. I remember when they were making this drink called Sip and Syrup. I'm not sure if you heard about it. It started, I think, 4 or 5 years ago. Purple bottles. They were selling them in the stores, and they're calling it Sip and Syrup. And it was started from a trend that people were drinking codeine, cough syrup, as a hallucinogenic, but people were overdosing from it. Like a rapper named DJ Screw overdosed from it. So they started creating these sip and syrup bottles as an alternative to that, made with melatonin and other stuff. So I agree. Alternatives is a good idea, but at the same time, it could be abused. Because even if it was small amounts of melatonin, what if they drink too much of it and they overdose? So it's hard to weigh it out. How much is too much, and should it even be legalized melatonin? They have melatonin in the pill bottles, and people could overdose. They take too much of that, so it's just very strange, very strange indeed. Let's see here, next story. It says here, a little girl has the most terrifying imaginary friend ever. A 3-year-old girl named Ruby has either an extremely vivid imagination or is being haunted by a pregnant teen ghost. How weird is that? Now, it's not every day that kids say they have an imaginary friend that's a pregnant teen, but a pregnant teen ghost. Now, it's funny because whenever I hear of kids talking about imaginary friends, I don't think that they're talking about ghosts. It's just something that they say is there when it's not. Like not being a ghost, though. Now, if kids say they see imaginary friends that are like ghosts, then I can believe that, because I've seen ghosts as well, But I don't see them all the time. They're not like Casper, where they're just here and there all the time, It's very rare when I've seen ghosts, usually most in shadows. I've seen some that look like regular people and they appear and disappear. It's weird stuff, man. I must have seen only like 5 times regular people. I look 1 second and I look somewhere else and I look back again, they're gone, It's happened about 5 times. It's weird stuff. So it's like, I can believe this, Of kids saying they see imaginary ghosts. Imaginary friends if they are ghosts. That's credible. Instead of just saying, oh, it's just someone if it's not a ghost, So, why is this ghost so evil? How weird is it that she is a pregnant teen ghost? The little girl's description of her imaginary friend, who sounds like a trapped spirit from another era, was tweeted on Monday by actress Natalie Morales. Now, this is a girl, and this is her SketchUp of the ghost. Now, that doesn't look like a female ghost, but, it's a kid's drawing. It's a kid's drawing, so that right there I thought was like a mustache and beard, but that's actually the mouth. So, you see this, the I guess the leg right there is forming the stomach. So that's pretty funny. And that's her right there. So now what is this ghost doing that's so weird? Let's see. She says her eyelashes are yellow, and that means that she can see in the dark. How weird is that? She only comes to see me at nighttime. It scares me sometimes, but I always want her to come back. She has 2 babies in her belly. She's 14. Let's see what else. She's 14 but can never have a birthday. She can never have a birthday. How weird is that? You know? So it's a very weird story. A pregnant teen ghost. This sounds like it could be a metaphor of human cloning of something, you know? Like it being a metaphor, like it is a real ghost that she's seeing, but maybe the meaning of this has to do with human cloning. It's weird. Because she said that she can never have a birthday. Because she never gets older. This is weird. Now, it doesn't say what this ghost does. So that's it. I wonder if we're going to start to see stuff like that. That is weird. Okay, let's see here. Next story. Okay, we're at the 36 marks. Let's really run down the news stories. First ever married Down syndrome couple celebrates 28th wedding anniversary. This is a picture there. Okay, next story. You know, Giuliani just keeps making Trump look bad. Giuliani needs to go, man. Giuliani to Huffington Post. Trump could have shot James Comey and not be prosecuted. You know, and I'm tired of the faces he makes. You know, this guy was the mayor of New York at 9/11. Can you believe it? And he's saying such outlandish remarks like this. Giuliani, you got to go, man. Next story, Ford dropped cars, but is keeping the Mustang. Here's why. I guess because this is the most elite car in its inventory. Next story. I hate this film. FBI agent accidentally shoots man while dancing. Can you believe it? You know, he does a flip and the gun falls out of his pocket, you know. That's the donkey of the day. Okay, next story is, this was good. Silent forms of protest make bold statements at Parkland graduation. And Jimmy Fallon was there. Now this one lady, mother of a victim that got shot, she had the courage to stand up with the shirt that said, "This could have been my son." She was holding the cap and gown and everything. So I congratulate her for that. And look at her spirit, man. She's not like all sad or anything. She's like making like look at her face. First when I saw that, I thought like, oh, she's not taking her child seriously. But then when I thought about it, like, no, she's making a bold statement to the media, you know, to saying like this is her way of getting back at the lapse in the security, you know, that goes all the way to that security guard, or was it a sheriff that was a wuss and didn't want to stop it, you know. It's just absurd, man. Okay, that's the main story of the day. And the last story, let's see here. Disney embraces 15 minimum wage in negotiations with workers. So, you know, it's getting crazy when it's $20 an hour, $50 an hour. I mean, it's like, yo, I don't know, man. And meanwhile, accountants are making the same, you know. And for the topic of the day, residents stranded with no power and water in area cut off by lava in Hawaii. You know, this is really big stuff, man. You know, Hawaii is in turmoil. We need to pray for the people of Hawaii. They are really going through hell, literally. And it's so bad. They can't escape that island. Now, even though it's an island, it's a really big island. It looks small on the map, but when you're there in person, yeah, it's really big. People think Hawaii is a speck on the map thing. They think it's the size of a city. Hawaii, the islands are bigger than a city. I'm not sure how big exact. I mean, all I know is they are not the same size of a state. The exact size, I'm guessing, is maybe 4 or 5 cities put together, but big cities is the size of one island. So, you look at New York, that's around 2-3 cities combined. Now, I remember hearing one time New York has how many people population? Was it 5 million or 10 million? I don't know, it's crazy. Because you have all these cities that are right next to each other, you know? So, yo, this is the lava, man. And it's spewing so high, so far, that it's mixing into the air also. And it's just, it's a chain reaction, man. They're like dominoes, and everything keeps falling on top of each other, you know? Cause and effect. You know, everything contributes to everything else. All the volcanic ash is messing up the atmosphere in Hawaii, so it's getting really bad, man. And I hope and pray that God seizes these volcanoes from erupting. For all we know, it could be demons that are doing it. Maybe they're trying to... maybe the war between good and evil is getting so strong at this moment that the demons are just pushing their way through from hell onto earth through these volcano portals. This is a theory here. Maybe maybe the time for the epic spiritual war is here, you know? Maybe the battle of Armageddon is upon us. But that's nothing to be scared of. That's something to get excited about. Because we know who's going to win. It don't take a rocket scientist to know who's going to win. You know, the devil, demons, they have no chance at winning against God, you know. These demons are nothing but peasants compared to God, man. You know, God has so much power, man. He could just wipe out evil like that. And I hope and pray that Jesus return very soon and brings the rapture, pure perfection in very soon. I think it could be this year with all the signs I'm seeing, you know, and everything just, pieces of the puzzle are lining up, you know. So I really believe Jesus returning this year. You know, I wish I could know what month of Jesus' return. I don't need to know the very second or the day. It would just be nice to know the month. And I hope and pray God can reveal it to us all what month. Now, there was a giant O in the clouds, I forgot where, in Oklahoma. Was it 3-4 days ago? Could the O, and it was like shape-shifting, morphing an O. Could the O mean October? Could Jesus return in October? Around Halloween? People would say, well, that'd be weird, God returning on Halloween, because after the rapture, everyone's going to be evil. But they're going to be evil regardless. So maybe this could be the final Halloween that God just has had enough of it, of all this glorification of the devil. And maybe the Halloween will be a lasting time of the rapture to say, this is going to be your last Halloween ever. Satan, demons, evil ghosts, evil people of the world. This is going to be your last Halloween ever. No longer are you going to be worshiping Satan. No longer are you going to be dancing with the devil. You know, Jesus returning, you know, God's about to pull the plug on the devil, man. You know, so I used to see like that'd be weird. Jesus returning on Halloween or before or after Halloween. Because I used to think, man, they're just going to be so evil and blasphemous after Halloween. They're going to be saying, oh, this is our Halloween now, But the way I see it also is maybe God can use that as a way to say, hey, this is going to be your final one, man. That's it. No more Halloween. Halloween was started as a Day of the Dead to memorialize the people who passed away. It was never intended to be worshiping Satan. People sacrificing cats and stuff like this. It's crazy, people get cats on Craigslist for free. And a lot of people probably do kill a lot of these free cats in sacrificial sacrifices to the devil on Halloween. You can find cats anywhere, You go to like alleys and stuff and they're always looking for food, There's so much stray animals out there, Now it's hard to get a lamb and all that, because they cost a lot of money. They're so rare. But cats are everywhere, man, And, the black cats are like the main ones that these satanic worshippers want to sacrifice on Halloween. So it is very strange. So back to the Hawaii volcanoes. Now, volcanoes have been happening in Hawaii since the beginning of time. Now, people say that, islands are formed from volcanoes. I didn't know that at first. I thought we always think that the islands have always been there since the beginning of time. But that's not the case. These islands have been formed by volcanoes. So these islands wouldn't exist without the volcanoes. But at the same time, what's becoming different, see, this is the way it used to happen back then. It was under the water, a volcano would start from the bottom, the lava would rise up and form the sediment for the land to start forming, and then the rain come in, and that's what creates the greenery. Over time, over the millennia, and it creates islands. Now what's happening now is these volcanoes are getting so out of hand that now they're starting to become reactive again, because a lot of them have been dormant, but now they're starting to become active again. And now the volcanoes like basically disintegrating the islands again. So it's weird. So all these volcanoes in Hawaii, this could really be a concern, a real red alert, a real red herring. Red herring means like a what's it called? A doomsday signal here, and it could be a red herring of something happening in Yellowstone. Now I heard Yellowstone was the parts of Nevada or something like that. And Yellowstone is where they put all the nuclear waste in. And it's right next to a volcano. What genius thought of that? To put all the... I mean, seriously, what genius thought of this? To say, I think it'll be a good idea to get all this nuclear waste material and put it right in this mountain right next to a volcano. And I can't believe these people convinced so many people, even the government, to say, oh yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Just store all this nuclear waste in the mountain right next to a volcano. Not just a regular volcano, but one of the biggest ones. So it's very, very alarming. If all these volcanoes are becoming active in Hawaii again, it could mean that these volcanoes could trigger the Yellowstone supervolcano. Now, if that erupts, you could see all of Nevada go out, all of California, all of Arizona, all of South America, all of New Mexico, around 4 or 5 states, all connected all around Nevada, Washington State even, Oregon, Now that's some scary stuff, Jesus returning, that's not scary at all. That's a celebration. But what is scary is something like this happening. Millions could die, But to calm fears, the way I see it is, hopefully, and I believe God has the power to subdue the supervolcano from erupting, to prevent millions of people dying, So it is alarming, but I believe God would prevent millions of people dying in a supervolcano. Because if it erupts, it's going to contaminate the nuclear radiation, and you're going to see a nuclear fallout. It'll be as bad as a nuclear bomb, the nuclear fallout, you know. So it's really crazy, man. And it is a real cause for concern. So I'm not saying everyone that's by there to move out and go all the way to the East Coast, New York and all, and like mid America. Not everyone has money to do that, you know, and just, you know, you don't want to leave your family, friends. So I know it's not that easy to just pick up and move to somewhere else, you know. So I would recommend moving, but then again, it's bad everywhere. You know, we have these hurricanes, earthquakes everywhere, tornadoes, you know, so there's no perfect place, you know. So I'm not trying to hurt the economy of Nevada or anywhere nearby by saying this. You know, I'm saying also that I believe God has the power to keep that volcano dormant, you know. But one of the good news is that if it were ever to erupt, it wouldn't be sudden of millions of people dying. We would be seeing activity happening in Yellowstone volcano that would be such a clear warning sign it'd give time for everyone to evacuate. So definitely not telling people to move out, because it would hurt the economy of all the states there. So, you know, we'll just leave it up to God, man. And now we'll go ahead and do some EVPs real quick. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, I got a clear word on this phone that said irrigation. Now, I was talking about Hawaii running out of water. Now get this. Irrigation could mean Flint and the water crisis that Flint is having. Come on, light, come back. Step into the light. You know, maybe the irrigation could be linking to the water crisis in Flint. So I was talking about Hawaii running out of water. How weird is that, right? Okay, so this phone got the words stamping, tusked, like an elephant tusk, patty, like a hamburger patty or something. Incurred, that means like to incur debt. To compile on debt. Irrigation, that's the word. I am the Spirit, that's God right there. Bandaged, executive. So, what sentence do I make? Something is stamping a tusk. Patty incurred irrigation. Okay, patty incurred irrigation talks like about a restaurant here. Hamburger patty, incurred bills, In irrigation, you run the water, electricity for the building. It sounds like some kind of restaurant or something. Patty, hamburger patty. I'm the spirit. Now, what does bandaged executive have to do with restaurant? Well, executive is like the business, the CEOs and all. So, now what does bandaged have to do? People cutting off their fingers while they're cutting food? I mean, weird stuff, you know. Bandaged. That's weird, you know. This phone got the words item, chino, crimper, tadpole, opinionatedly, like to have an opinion of, glutamate, like gluten, and baten. Now chino is like a word for a Chinese person. I'm not sure that's a racist term, chino. I think that's just a regular word. So I don't think chino is a racist term. Could be, but I doubt it. So could this be talking about the restaurant here also? An item that Chinese people like, crimper, tadpole. Well, a lot of people, Chinese people do eat fish, sushi. Could this be talking about sushi here? Weird. Opinionated. People have opinions about sushi. Glutamate. Use glutens to keep the sushi fresh. Baten. Like you use bait to get the fish out. How weird is this? It's like talking about a restaurant on both of these. What? This is powerful stuff, man. I'm telling you. Now we'll go ahead and do 4 more and we'll call it a night. Wow. Okay, let's see here. Have faith. I like that one. Okay. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Addition. Sick mind. Crowding. Aged. So, an addition of something. Evil people have sick minds. And the evil people are crowding into areas of age. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Could it be talking about concerts and stuff and crazy people at concerts? Maybe. This one has the word stacked. Complacency, that means like complacent, like to put off stuff, to be lazy. Suction, bologna. Now look like I meant to say bologna. That's a whole lot of bologna. And then have faith. I like that word. And fluid, FLEWED. Oh my God, this lighting. Oh man, this lighting. For sure, I need lights. It's just, why does everything gotta be so expensive? So, if something is stacked, people are complacent. I don't know what to make of these words here. bologna. Okay, that's really funny. And we'll go ahead and do 2 more and we'll call it a night. I'm always tired at the end of the day. But I really try to make it what's it called? Dedication. It started as New Year's resolution is to try to hit every single day with the video. Now I know it can be every single day because I'm not a robot, but at least the majority, 95% of the days this year will be a video. And now, when I start receiving money, that's going to be even more awesome, like through monetization and through receiving money through Patreon and PayPal, so that makes it even more inspiring, and I'll be trying to do the live chats also, the super chat, receiving donations. So I'm trying to start like a real talk show here. I want to get up and coming people, make them famous, bring a million views per day, God willing. And, I'm trying to really create a real talk show here, like Coast to Coast AM, So we'll go do 2 more. And we'll call it a night. Oh my God, so many words. Okay. Now, we got some weird words here, man. Let me tell you. We got some weird words here, let me tell you. We got hard word to say. Angioneurotic. Or is it Angion? Angioneurotic or Angioneurotic? Now is Angion's rhyming with something. And then bollard. Maybe meant to say maybe billiard, like pool table. Weird. Bollard, collar. Design. Omniscient. Well, omnipresent means like to be everywhere. Omniscient means like I guess like of the joy everywhere or something. Now this word, when I saw this word, I'm like, yo, 7 days. Saying the word 7 days there. Is that saying maybe something could be happening in 7 days? Well, I'll see 7 days from now, and then I'll link back to this to see if hopefully like an apparition appears or something, or some kind of sign of something. 7 days. It could be a prediction here, something's going to happen. Hopefully nothing bad. I'm not receiving, if it was something bad, I'm not receiving information on what it could be, so I hate it when I'm left out the loop. I would love to receive powerful predictions, a prophecy here, so I could be the hero and prevent tragedies to come. So that's what I'm hoping through these EVPs. So 7 days, appointedly, DOS, DOSS. It sounds like DOS, like computer programming. And then apron. Like, okay. Linking back to like a restaurant here with apron, cooking and stuff. So that's weird. 7 days. Let's see what happens. And the last one. We got the words moddy. Moddy. That sounds like mod, like to modify something. Bumper cars. December. So we saw the O in the video like 3-4 days ago. Could that mean she's returning in October? We have December here. It's saying could you be returning in December? It's just, oh my God, it's so cloudy. I wish God could just make it clear for me to see. And then comedy. King of the Flies. It sounds like the movie Lord of the Flies. So how weird is that? Expose. That means like to showcase something. Octoploid. Like octopus. Octoploid. Android. An octopus android, huh? And translation. So I don't know what to make of all this. Oh man, I hope and pray I could find meaning to all this. Because when I receive predictions, it makes all this gibberish worth it. It's like speaking in tongues here, and like it's really what it is, and hopefully I can find meaning to all this gibberish. So weird words indeed. So we'll go ahead and end it there. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please tell everyone you know to like, share, and subscribe. And please tell everyone you know, if you could please donate to me through Patreon. Patreon is a monthly donation. And PayPal is a one-time donation. And it's a one-time donation, but you can always donate again through the one-time donation. So that's why I have Patreon there for the monthly donation. But I want to have PayPal there for people if they just want to donate one time. So gotta have those both options. That's the best way to do it. Still waiting for monetization to kick in. They said it hopefully by the end of June. So got me waiting here, man. So everyone out there, YouTube, God bless you all. Thank you for helping us make our dreams come true. Amen. Hallelujah. And we'll end it there. God bless you all. Peace. Jesus is returning. Hallelujah. The signs are everywhere. Hallelujah.